How many? How many? How many? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, what did I get up to?
Hello, and welcome to a new episode of How Many, the only podcast on the internet that counts. I am one of your hosts, Jesse Jackson, and joining me tonight are...
I'm Scott.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Junior.
That's right, we've got the bass band, the core group today.
No interlopers.
No
We
guests.
couldn't afford any special guests.
None
this
of
time.
the extra Davids.
All of our
or
bribes
Lyle.
didn't work out. Yes, our string of Daves.
Dave's
run
not
its
here,
course.
man.
Dave's not here.
Go, Ben, open up the door. It's Dave.
Who?
Dave. D-A-V-E. Will you open up the... Yeah, Dave.
Dave?
Right, man. Dave. Now, will you open up the door?
Dave's not here.
And so tonight, as we record, we are doing our long tradition,
All 3 years worth.
of predicting the Dallas Cowboys record and seasons. If you remember, we did this last year. Then in mid-year, we all were depressed. Then they turned around and we
Went on a run.
Yeah.
Made the playoffs.
Woods on run.
But unfortunately, they their momentum got shattered in the second round.
Yeah.
But better than what I think everybody was
They
predicting
won a
for the most
playoff
part.
game
Yeah.
Won a playoff game.
against a good team.
Which I predicted they would go to the playoff game and lose it.
Yes.
And
I
think
said the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I did too.
Bob said the same thing, and I think I was the most pessimistic of the
Right.
bunch. I had said 8-8, no playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and halfway through the year, my prediction was looking really good.
It was.
It was
But to our shock and awe, they
Shocks you.
turned the season
Shocks you.
around,
It shocks you. It shocks you.
and they were able to surprise us all. So, moving into the next season, we're recording right now in August.
Yeah, so I was going to give that in context. We're recording in August. They have not had their first preseason game.
Zeke is not on the field yet.
Yeah, Zeke is not signed. He's still holding out. We found out today that Jerry Jones goes to the Mediterranean on vacations.
Bravo, Eugenia.
Yes.
And we just had today the breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Robert Quinn has been suspended for the first 2 games of the season. Now, he had already had his hand broken during training camp, so he was expected to maybe miss a little bit of time at the beginning of the year anyway, but another suspension to add to the long list of Cowboy players that have gotten in trouble with the league.
David Moore said 6 straight years they've started the season with one of the starters
So-
suspended.
A common saying, right? It's not fall till pumpkin spice latte is out on Starbucks. It is not a Cowboy season till a player is suspended.
So Goodell brings the hammer down on somebody on the
You
Cowboys
know-
roster.
I want to know who else has one. I mean, Cowboys can't be the only team that has this issue.
We just know it more because it's here.
Yeah, it's our team,
It's
obviously.
close to home, but it doesn't feel like it happens to every team every year consistently.
That we know of. I mean, it could, but it's just, again, it's not. They're not our team.
Speaking from a fantasy football perspective,
Okay.
there isn't a lot of instances where I can remember taking somebody off of my draft board because they were suspended ahead of time. Now, that could be because a lot of these suspensions occur offensive line, defensive
Defense,
line.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really...
Spares.
It's not skill position very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, it just feels like it happens to the Cowboys so consistently that you can just put money on it. In fact, if there is a betting line for the Cowboys having at least one suspension at the beginning of the year, I would put money on it every time.
Right.
Absolutely. So in general terms, before we make predictions, any thoughts about, are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? What do you think about this season, Junior?
So there is some red flags right off the bat, in addition to the suspension. Like you mentioned before, with Zeke holding out,
Holding out.
I am worried that this is going to turn into another Le'Veon Bell situation. Last year, the Steelers had Super Bowl hopes going into the year, and Le'Veon Bell completely derailed their season to the point where they were just a fringe playoff team, didn't get very far if they even made the playoffs. I don't even think they did. So I could see a situation like that occurring to the Cowboys now.
Although Sarah Connor was a solid fill-in.
Yes, he did. He performed well, but he wasn't enough of a game changer to keep their Super Bowl hopes alive. I'm worried that Zeke may have the same kind of mentality. I think he believes that he is the driving force of the Cowboys offense, which he is, because I think he plays a more vital role than Dak does, just because his skill level is higher, in my opinion. So I could see him thinking, okay, if you don't make me the highest paid running back in the NFL, I'm not coming in this year. Now, do the Cowboys have enough to cover for that? Maybe to the point where they're 7-9, 8-8. Alfred Morris and the new guy that they drafted, Pollard. Apparently, there's a lot of good things going on with him in training camp, but I don't know. I'm very pessimistic right now.
Bob, does the bell toll for the Cowboys?
On the other end of things, I'm very optimistic, and I know there are causes for concern with Zeke and Quinn and this stuff, but Jerry, he's not getting any younger, and they're going into this as they're not extending Garrett, so this is Garrett's last hurrah. Everything seems to be aligned for them to make a deep run this year. Dak's getting better. They've got Cooper from the get-go. Gallup is another year in. The defense is deeper and more talented than it's been in forever.
Yeah, Chris Richard, Miracle Man, had another year.
For me, all the arrows are pointing up.
Okay, don't hold off on your prediction. Scott.
Okay. I'm with Bob predominantly on the arrows pointing up. But my arrows pointed up are tempered by the Zeke holdout. I don't know that Zeke is going to keep him from making the playoffs if he doesn't show. If he doesn't show, I don't think it'll keep him from making the playoffs. I think it would keep him from making a dent in the playoffs, getting anywhere in the playoffs. And I'm kind of the idea that even though, I'm with the players on, hey, get what you can, I'm also kind of on Zeke. I'm going, bite me. If you don't come in, fine. Let's see how good you are after you set a season or two out and see what you're really worth when you are getting older and you've had your ass kicked over the last 2 or 3 years.
And I don't understand the mathematics of it. I mean, if you don't play this year, you sacrifice X amount of dollars. Are you ever going to earn that back?
Well, the thought is that whenever he does sign his contract, it'll make up for all that.
Right, but I wonder if you put the math in an Excel spreadsheet. Yes.
And I think that what you were saying about, Jerry's getting older and so on, I don't think Jerry is going to let the year get away without putting everything on the table that he's got to try and make it happen.
And I know that's Zeke's banking on that.
Right. Yeah,
because if you think about it, Zeke, in reality, he shouldn't have any leverage because he's got 2 years left. All this off-the-field crap keeps surfacing. If anybody was not realistically in a position to pull this, it's him. Yet he still did it because he knows how hard up the Cowboys are to win.
Right.
How hard up Jerry is to win.
It is two guns pointed at each other, and they're both loaded and chambered, and it's a case of who's going to blink.
And they talked today. There's some shakiness in the kicker position.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. That was bad. I didn't like hearing that.
I didn't hear that. So is Maher shanking?
He's shanking 30-yarders in practice.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so there is an open competition for kicking, even though they haven't said it. But the guy they brought in isn't doing that great either. So we'll see.
Hologram Dan Bailey? Is it time for bring him back?
And, we got Jason Witten out of the booth, back on the field. That's going to be interesting.
I think he's only going to help from a leadership perspective. I don't know how much he has left as far as actual on-field productivity, but I think he will help the young tight ends as far as running routes, how to hold blocks, hopefully minus the penalties, which he was kind of
Yeah.
known for over the past
His
couple of years.
his asset's going to be those converting third and short.
See, I think he's going to draw defenders, and I think that's going to help Amari.
Yeah.
But now Amari, they need to get him some balls downfield, not 10-yard outs.
Well,
not
apparently
7-yard.
they're going to be increasing the amount of deep balls.
That is
That's
a
what-
perfect
that's what they're
transition. What are we
saying.
thinking about our new OC and quarterback coach, Kellen Moore and Kitna?
I honestly feel like it's going to be more of the same.
Yes.
From what I've heard, the offense has not really changed enough.
Yeah, didn't Alfred Morris say the same
in an
thing
interview,
here?
Alfred Morris even said, "Hey, it was really easy for me to come back and get reintegrated in the offense because nothing has changed."
Now, maybe he was talking about the terminology and the play.
But can you not see Garrett going Ixnay on the same day?
Dude,
yeah.
you think about it, Garrett. How much control is he really willing to concede, knowing this is his make or break year?
Absolutely.
Well, they talked to him last week? They said, "Who's calling the plays?" "You're Garrett." And he said, "Me." Garrett's not calling, but he still should have veto power.
I think just from a philosophy standpoint, I don't think Garrett's offense has been replaced with this high-octane, motion all over the place offense.
Not a chance.
Just because Kellen Moore is now the fall guy instead of Linehan.
Supposedly they're putting in rub routes and pick plays and things that they haven't ever really been using.
Yeah, the boy genius. So we'll see. All right, so it's time to put up or shut up. I'm going to go first, if you don't mind. I am all in. I am being optimistic. In the past, I've always said, they're going to get to the AFC Championship game, and even if they lose, I'm going to be happy. I am Super Bowl bust this year.
Now, do you want any caveats? Whether Zeke...
Yes, I am assuming Zeke comes in, they take care of everything, they start the season off with the full, all their weapons loaded, the full team, and barring major injuries, all that. But I mean,
and their first half of the season schedule is very easy.
Yes,
they could get off to a really good start.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to actually consider an easy schedule before the season starts, though.
True.
What we may have thought was an easy schedule last year
but
ends up being difficult.
Take the Giants, for example.
Yeah.
They have Saquon Barkley, and that's it. There is no way they're going to be good.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
So
Seem impossible.
I am going 11-5, and they make it to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Whoa.
Shocks you? It shocks you?
Doesn't shock me.
All right, Bob, since do you want to
I'm going to one-up Jesse. I'm going to say 12-4 in Super Bowl.
Whoa.
Wow.
And win Super Bowl, not just get there. This doesn't sound like all in to me. Now, Jesse, you were win Super Bowl, right? Not just get there.
Yes, I mean that's my fandom, but my prediction officially is they make the
They
Super
just
Bowl.
make it.
I'm not gonna. At that point,
It's
we'll
hard
do
to
it
say if you don't know who they're going to play, but
Yeah.
I'll say make it and lose because they'll probably play New England or the Chiefs. This assumption is based on Jerry pushing all the chips in the table.
Right.
Zeke's here. You got Frederick back from the start of the season. The depth on defense. I mean, anything could derail it. Injuries, whatever. But just face value, it looks like they're really primed for a deep, big run.
As Norm, right back at you, pal, has said, there are people at Austin Street Shelter that have done the do theory. But I feel like, to a certain degree, they're due. And I also am thinking, Chris is 30. I just don't know if he could take another disappointing season.
It'll be interesting, and this may be something we should wait until Junior and Scott make their picks, but we should talk about what do they have? What does Garrett have to do to get the extension?
Okay, very nice. All right, so Junior?
So again, I'm going to have the caveat: Zeke comes in before the start of the season, signs his contract. All the bullets are loaded. If everything is right at the beginning of the year, no major injuries from now until the start of the season.
You have to go with that.
Yeah,
period.
all of those caveats in place. I think the Cowboys will win the division. I think they will go 11-5.
Okay.
And I think they will make it one round past where they have been
So the
kind of
NFC
stifled.
Championship game.
So I think they will make it to the NFC Championship game, but I do not think they will win.
Okay.
I think they will end up playing a team with a superior coach.
Like the Rams or the Saints.
Like the Rams, the Saints.
Okay.
And I think that's where Garrett will be exposed.
Okay. All right. Scott?
Okay, I'll make this easy on you. I'm with Junior. I think 11-5 to the NFC Championship, but not past it.
Okay. So that's all our predictions.
Wow, and so worst case, NFC
Yeah.
Championship.
Yeah. So we're all...
And this is all based
Yes.
on talent. Like, if
Right.
you look at it from a talent perspective, the Cowboys have one of the best defensive lines in the league, best linebacking cores in the league, one of
Yep.
the best secondaries in the league,
Best
one of the
running
best offensive lines in the league.
Yep.
Their main detriments are
Coaching.
quarterback, coaching, and in the past you would say wide receiver was weak, but now I don't even think you can say that anymore.
They got like Pro Football Focus or whoever it was that ranks the position
Yeah.
groups. They went from 30 last year. They're up to 11. They're like almost
Yeah.
a top 10 unit now.
And so...
Because Randall Cobb, that's an upgrade over Cole Beasley. Man.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's a legit
That is.
third guy.
So that's all our hopeful pick. Now, does anyone want to say... We all believe Jerry's going to cave. No one wants to predict that
doesn't come in.
Zeke's not going to come back.
But if he does pull a Le'Veon Bell, I think the Cowboys would go 8-8, and I think Garrett would be gone.
Like for the whole season, like
Yeah.
Zeke. See, I think if the worst case is Zeke might miss a couple of games. I don't
Like the
think,
Emmett back in the day.
exactly. I don't think it's ever going to go the full season. But if it did,
I think that gives Garrett a pass.
oh God,
I don't think
would,
so.
I hope not.
I don't think so.
But I would think it would be more along the lines of maybe 9-7 without Zeke. There's still so much. Their defense is so good.
I would go 9-7 too. Yeah.
But probably not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'd probably go 9-7, and I will go ahead and say it that I think that Zeke's being chicken shit.
Yeah.
I think this is a chicken shit maneuver.
It's
You know,
agent driven.
I won't. I cannot put it online with what Emmett did because Emmett wasn't under contract.
Right. That's
He
the
was
difference.
not.
Or he's not
under
even
contract.
entering the final year. It was kind of 2 years.
Yes, 2 years to
Yeah.
go on his freaking contract.
Yeah.
You know,
And you think about Dak is getting paid nothing because
Yeah.
his
He's
rookie
getting paid
year-
even less.
And I
than
mean,
Yeah.
does Zeke not realize how much they've gone to bat for him and all this crap?
Yes.
season?
oh no
It's like-
kidding.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing more than anything. Like in Dak's case, Dak can't say I'm one of the top
Right.
3 quarterbacks in the league. Zeke can say that. So
Yeah.
in his defense a little bit,
Yeah.
I can understand his thought process a little bit.
when
But
he sees the writing on the wall. He knows what they did with DeMarco Murray. He
Yeah.
knows that they're conceptually they would like to just use him up through the contract.
Count it like a nail.
Yeah,
Let him go.
absolutely. All right, I say Garrett's back no matter what. I think.
Whoa!
I think
Why would
Jerry,
they not extend him then?
because he wants that pressure. That's Jerry, pushing it all.
So even
on-
if they miss the playoffs, Zeke comes back and the whole season, no excuses,
Nothing
and they
changes.
still miss the
okay,
playoffs.
so I don't think that's a realistic scenario.
okay.
Yeah, but yes, if that scenario, if they have everything and they didn't make the playoffs, then yes, then this team gave up on him and they would get rid of him. But I think short of if there is a legitimate excuse, reason in Jerry's mind, not necessarily actually legitimate, but if in Jerry's mind, well, this is the reason why, he wants Garrett to be his Landry.
Yeah, he does. He does want Garrett to stay. He doesn't want to have to not keep Garrett.
Yeah.
But if they really want progress, you would think he would at least need to make the championship game to stay.
Yeah.
But like if they just replicate last year, it's just more of the same.
Yeah.
That that would be, if I was in Jerry's position, that would be my expectation. Well, if I was in Jerry's position, I would have fired Garrett like 5 years ago. But that would be, if you're wanting progress, you got to go farther than the year before.
Okay?
And if they lose and Garrett gets credit for it, if they win, Garrett should get credit for it.
Right.
Are they going to? I don't know. I don't see Garrett coming back because I think he's more of a loser than he is a winner. You know?
Even though he's had a 500 record and
Yeah.
he's won.
I mean, I just Chan Gailey
He just-
was a winner. and
It's
they got
not
it.
so much that he's a bad coach; he just doesn't add any value.
Right.
There's nothing. It's a net. It's a zero sum. with him.
That's exactly what I would think. Is that it's neither good or bad
No,
that he's there.
He's just there. He's
it's
a
like
bus driver.
it's vanilla.
Yeah.
Junior?
I think he has to progress past what he did last year to keep his job. I think the reason Jerry did not extend him was to give him the opportunity to do better than he did last year.
Do you think-
And I think he's built this roster from a talent standpoint to where Garrett won't have the built-in excuse of, well, I don't have the talent to get
Yeah,
where
right.
you want me to get.
Yeah.
I think the talent is there. Him not having that extension gives Jerry the out to say, okay, you know what? We're going to go after Sean Payton. We're going to go after somebody that's won it before to get me where I want to go.
Do you think if they would have beat the Rams, Garrett would have got the extension?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
I do too.
I think so too.
yeah.
I do too.
If I was Garrett's manager, let's not say I was Jerry Jones, but let's say I would have that expectation. I would say, you got to get over that hump. You know, you can't be next year's NFC championship.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like his fourth or fifth season.
Yeah,
It's like
we've
10
given you
years.
plenty time. You know,
It's the white Marvin Lewis.
we did nothing. We did nothing with Romo, and you can make a lot of arguments about the talent of the team, but at this point, you know, you need to show you can motivate this team to take care of business. Bad teams beat them. Be competitive with good teams, and then game plan against a good team in the playoffs so that you can get to the NFC Championship and not win it, make it competitive. I mean,
How many times has he ever outcoached somebody?
exactly.
Right.
Right.
He's never
Like,
had.
as a Cowboy fan, you're always like, how often did Romo lose because they gave the opponent too much time left? Aaron Rodgers is going to zip, 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 and then do it.
It's downfield.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've got a minute and a half, and I only need.
And they've swapped out coordinators multiple times
Right.
during his tenure. So at a certain point, you have to stop blaming the offensive defensive coordinators and look at the guy in charge.
And
Common denominator.
a
Yes.
reminder. He is a huge Springsteen fan. I think he is a great guy.
Take a drink.
Yeah, I want him to succeed. I think that is a feel good story waiting to happen. That someone, but I just he's got to step up.
I just want somebody to succeed.
Yes.
I have nothing personal against Garrett. I just
Yeah.
want somebody to get this team to where, even if maybe they didn't have the talent, but it looked like the coaching was adding, like
Yeah.
Bob said, value to
Right.
the organization. It didn't matter. It wouldn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
He seems like a nice enough guy, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We just
Yeah.
need to get more value out of that position.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to put this in the can. We'll visit about halfway. Hopefully, we'll be riding high. Though I got to tell you,
I would rather it went like last year than if it flips the opposite.
Yeah.
I don't want us to
Gotta
get
tell you
off to a
what,
great start
but
and
I will
crater
t-
the second half.
but in terms of show content, last year was perfect because we were just depressed. Then they rolled around.
Junior and I were at that game.
The Tennessee game.
The Tennessee, it was Mari Cooper's first game, and they lost, and that just seemed like rock bottom. They looked terrible that game. And
Yep.
it was like
They were
man,
3-5 at that point, I believe. or
Something like
3-4.
that.
Yeah, but like now we've lost our first
And
round.
that was like a
draft.
national TV game. That was the big Witten came back, and they
Yeah.
did Monday Night Football. So it seemed like it was
Yeah.
church at that point.
All right, so we want to hear what you say, America. So how
You
can
drive
they-
the bus.
Yes, how can they reach out to us?
So you can email us, howmanypodcasts@gmail.com. You can contact us through the YouTube channel. Just search for How Many Podcasts. You can send us tweets. We have a How Many Twitter, right?
Yes,
How
we
Many
do.
Podcasts?
At How Many Pod? Yes.
And you can call 1-877-SPORTS. That's SPORTTTS.
How many T's?
3 T.
3 T's. Okay.
Welcome back to the National Radio Network. You're listening to the Guys Sports Show. I am Guys Sports. Booyakasha! Booyakasha. Our number, 1-800-999-SPORTS. That's sports with 2 T's. 1-800-99-sports. 1-800-999-sports. That's right, America. I want to hear from you. Our show heard round the nation in Burlington, Vermont, Lynchburg, Virginia, and Antlers, Oklahoma.
You can find me on Twitter at Jesse Jackson DFW. You can find Scott.
What am I? Scott _
Matula.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can reach me, Metzkin_Jr. and Bob.
I'm at Lukewarm Tallboy.
Funny
And
story.
Funny story. So if you ever run into Jason Garrett, he'll give you the scoop on that.
So let's go Cowboys.
All right,
Talk to you soon.